I was once 18 years old and I had a good life. I was educated, I was volunteering, I worked. By all accounts, if you knew me from the outside looking in, my life was put together. But I had a secret, and that was an addiction to pornography. Now, I didn't know that I was addicted to pornography. In fact, I just thought porn was this thing that I did occasionally, didn't seem like a big deal. And in the back of my head, I knew that it probably wasn't the right thing to do, but it wasn't that much of a problem, and I'll quit one day when I want to. That day came, and then I realized just how addicted I was. And I can truthfully say porn almost ruined my life. And at the same time, quitting porn was the best thing that happened to me. I've been clean since 2016. I have a wife, I have a kid, I run a business. I've been able to make a huge impact in the world because I quit my addiction. And so I know firsthand that quitting porn is probably the best thing you can do for yourself. But I want to talk to all the young men out there who are watching this video. Maybe pornography is part of your life. Maybe you're like me when you were 18. You know, it doesn't seem like a big deal. It's innocent. You don't watch it that often. You probably have all these justifications for why porn is in your life, and you don't realize that actually you are on a path to destruction. You just haven't walked far enough down yet to realize. So I'm going to help you realize today what that path is and hopefully get you on a different path that's going to lead you towards a more successful life. Now, real quick, let me introduce myself. My name is Sathiya Sam. I am a recovered pornography addict and I'm a specialized addiction coach. I've helped thousands of men from around the world quit pornography successfully through my deep clean method. And today we're going to talk about porn consumption. Now, this is going to be helpful for you whether you are addicted, whether you're not addicted, or maybe you don't know. We're going to get some clarity on that and we're going to start pointing you in the right direction. Now, the first thing we need to understand about pornography is that it is the three A's. Okay, pornography is affordable, accessible, and anonymous. And if it was just a couple of those A's, it would be a problem, but these three together are a huge, huge problem. Let's break this down. Pornography is affordable. Okay, pornography has always been affordable, but back in the day, you did need to buy a magazine or rent a video or rent a DVD. In today's day and age, it literally costs you $0 to access all the pornography, all the naked people, all the content in the world that you could possibly want. And that low or basically no barrier to entry makes it a huge problem because it means that when you're young, like the age you are, or when you were younger, when you first got exposed, I was first exposed at 11 years old, you could get pornography just like that. You don't need to have money or any kind of means to make that happen. Porn is accessible. So we know this because of the technological advancements. We know that because of smartphones, because of broadband internet, and now because of AR and VR and all kinds of advancements in technology. This accessibility has never been greater. And that's why not only do you get exposed at a young age, because maybe it doesn't cost you anything, but you can continue to access it again and again. You can have new experiences, different experiences. You can have the same experiences. You can have whatever you want. That accessibility has at an all-time high, and literally, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can fall into pornography very quickly. And probably the darkest part and what really makes this such a difficult problem to discuss is the third A, and that is the anonymity, or the fact that porn is anonymous. Now, because porn is anonymous, what that means is you can watch and nobody could know about it. Now, when I was struggling with pornography, I had, set times when I knew nobody was going to be around. I used to do it on the family computer back in the day when that was a thing. And I would make sure that I was always watching at a time when, like I said, nobody was around. But beyond that, I would also clear my browser history. I would eliminate the trails. I would delete the files. There was always a hidden anonymous part to this that was actually pretty easy to hide. And to be honest, when I did start to speak a bit more publicly about my pornography addiction, everyone in my life was kind of shocked because there was no indicator, there was no evidence, there was no trail that I really had any kind of issue because porn is that anonymous. And that was true years ago when I was struggling. It's even more true today with VPNs. There's so many ways that you can mask your activity. And as long as you stay anonymous, it actually makes it more enticing. It makes it more exhilarating And it makes it a lot harder to come clean and to actually get the help you need. So these 3 A's are why you have started watching pornography. But these 3 A's are also the reason that you are leading down a path that's really, really dangerous. Now, when I was a young guy, I didn't know that. Nobody told me, hey, here's what happens if you keep down the path. But I'll tell you, from helping thousands of guys who are further down that path, we work with guys as young as 22, 23 years old, all the way up to, guys that are in their 60s, 70s. We've even had a client who's pushing 80. The thing that they'll all tell you is that porn started small for them too. It started innocent. It started watching it occasionally. It was softcore. It was vanilla. It was not a big deal. But it led to divorce. It led to sexual dysfunction, relationship dissatisfaction. It led to affairs, brothels, prostitutes, hookers. It led to spiritual disconnection and spiritual isolation. It led to all kinds of things that they thought would never happen to them. They heard the stories. They said, that's not me. So let me ask you something. Okay, here's how you know if you're down that path. Have you watched pornography once in the last 60 days? If the answer is yes, you're on this path at least to some extent. But let's not just look back. Let's look ahead. Okay, let me ask you this. Could you go the next 30 days with zero pornography? I mean, not even a little glance. Could you go 30 days without watching anything that's even borderline on Instagram or TikTok? Could you go 30 days completely clean? Now, if you answered yes to that question, then I only have one response. Prove it. Go the next 30 days and let me know in the comments below how it goes. Now, if you hear that same challenge and you're like, oh, 30 days, that's a pretty long time. That might be an indicator that this has more of a stronghold in your life than you realize, and you may not be that far away from that place of destruction. Okay, now the other criteria to consider is, can you be your true self without it? Now, this is a really tough wake-up call for me because I realized that when I didn't watch porn, I became agitated, a little irritable. I became a little bit more like hustle, and I was rushed through things. Without pornography, I didn't feel like I could even just be calm and be settled and be regulated and have something to look forward to. And that was, again, another telltale sign that it really had a stronghold in my life. I want to ask you the same question. Can you be your true self without it? How much do you actually need it? Okay. Now, if you answered that you can't go 30 days without it, or maybe you're realizing, yeah, I do actually need it. It does help me function in my life to some extent. What I want to encourage you to do is 2 things. Okay. Number 1 is I want you to reach out and talk to somebody about it. The 3rd A we talked about is the anonymity, right? It's staying hidden. It's nobody knowing. When you confess or when you talk to somebody about what's going on, the walls of shame break down. You start to feel a lot lighter, and all of a sudden, that path to hope and healing and recovery becomes clear as day. So the first thing I want you to do is talk to someone. Now, if you don't know who to talk to the person that you know will not judge you. Who's the one person in your life that you could tell anything in the world and they will not judge you? That's the person that needs to know. And if there's nobody in your life, you can always hit me up on Instagram. We get messages all the time from guys who don't know where to turn. We would love to be that first point of contact if you're looking to maybe get a little bit more help and some practical advice. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to start consuming recovery content. Now, here's the thing that I wish I would have done when I was struggling. Because when I was struggling, I thought, hey, I'll figure out this addiction on my own, and then I'll have this great story to tell. And that's why you should reach out to someone. Okay, don't do this alone. That's stupid. But the second thing is I wanted to come up with my own solutions. I thought, man, I'm going to go figure this out for myself. And, I'm going to have my own process and blah, blah, blah. And what I wish I would have done is I wish I would have just found people who had already recovered. I would have found experts who were really knowledgeable, and I would have got all of their content as much as possible. Books, podcasts, YouTube videos, Instagram posts, whatever it was. I wish I would have just inundated myself with recovery content, really learned so I could start applying that stuff right away instead of having to be a scientist about it and guessing and checking and experimenting and let's see what happens with this. I wish I would have just found proven methods, learned about them, and then executed them in my own life. And if I was 18 years old again and I was struggling with porn addiction, that is the first thing I would do. I would maybe even do that before I reached out to talk to someone. I'd get some knowledge first. I'd be thinking in the back of my mind, who's that person that I can trust? And when I feel ready, I would reach out to them and tell them. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. I'll see you in the next video.